Whoa, 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 whoa. Why y'all so happy?
You don't know? Sharvette Mitchell is on the radio.
It's time to get motivated, excited, and influenced. Why? It's the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, live from Richmond, Virginia. And now, here to motivate, excite, and influence you, Sharvette Mitchell.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. That's right, broadcasting from the capital city of Richmond, Virginia, but heard all across the World Wide Web. We are super excited to have you joining us here today for another phenomenal show. OMG, listen, I have two dynamic ladies that are joining me in the virtual studio. First up, hanging out in the virtual green room right now. I hope she's enjoying some virtual snacks. We're going to be talking to Dr. Olive C. Brown. Oh, my goodness, back by popular demand. You've heard her before here on the show. She is the presiding prelate of International Christian Ministries. She's a pastor's pastor, certainly a trailblazer for women in ministry, and she's here today to talk about her upcoming book release, Unlocking the Giant Within. You're going to get to hear all about it, the pre-book release celebration, all that good stuff. So you want to keep it locked right there. And then in our second segment, we're going to be talking to Noelle Sewell. She's joining us. She's the founder of IndieSpotlight.net, which is really a global showcase of independent Christian artists. But she's here today really to talk about HIV and AIDS and how it has affected the Christian creative community and the Christian community as a whole. This week was honored or observed as World AIDS Day. So she wants to talk about that and how the Christian creative community has been impacted and how we can help make a change. So, listen, this is what I want you to do. I want you to get on Twitter, tell them what you're listening to. I want you to get on Facebook, tell them what you're listening to, and join us here on the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Again, we're going right to the virtual green room and grabbing our first guest to bring her up to the mic, Dr. Olive C. Brown. And I'm honored, I got to tell you, because she is my senior pastor. So this is not. You're welcome. This is not something that happens every day. So, Dr. Olive C. Brown, I'm excited to have you here on the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show to talk about your brand new published work that's almost in your hands. How does it feel?
It feels awesome. As I said today on Facebook, I feel so much creative juices. I feel so excited about what God has done, because I could not have done this by myself. I'm not that smart. I thank God because I am smart, but not this smart that I could do it without Him. And I give all the credit to God for God even dropping this idea in my head. And I'm excited, and I'm excited to be with you today.
Yes, we're glad to have you. We are glad to have you. So you have certainly written, you've written other books before and certainly done all kinds of seminars and traveled and been a speaker. What was the catalyst that said, okay, this book, this Unlocking the Giant Within, I've got to get this out to the world?
I think the real catalyst for this particular book was I have done so many counseling sessions, and this is my 37th anniversary, pastoral anniversary, and I have preached to so many people. And Sunday we're so excited. We're running around the church. We're jumping up and down and all the good stuff that we love to do. But when it comes back to Monday through Friday, I'm in counseling with so many people who feel stuck, who feel they just cannot move. There is, they feel it when on Sunday, but on Monday when you go back to your job or even at home or wherever, just feel like there's something down inside. If somebody could just pull it out, if somebody could draw it out. And I call this the giant that's within. It's a big thing, but it's been suppressed, and it's been in a dormant state until it's like, wow, I don't even know. But that's what it's all about.
So how did you come up with the actual title?
The same thing. I just felt it was something that is mystical in the dictionary. You know, if giants are really mystical in the dictionary, or in the Bible is David and Goliath, or in the fairy tale books is Jack and the Beanstalk. But I felt it was so humongous, but so little on the inside. So I came up, the idea came up. It's a giant. It's something. Yeah. If you can unleash it, if you can unlock it, you can take the world. And there are so many people that have. Like Steve Jobs and, so Oprah Winfrey. They have found that niche to unlock what can speak to the world. And I believe they're not by themselves. I believe God has destined all of us. In Jeremiah 29:11, he said, that he has given everything in you. He knows he has set up everything in you. Everything has been set up to succeed and to excel. I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you, plans to give you a future and a hope.
Yes.
That's the giant he's got the plans in. It's in our DNA. And when this DNA is unleashed, my God, what a changed person.
Wow. Unlocking the giant within listeners. You are hearing from Dr. Olive C. Brown. We see you coming in on the phone lines. Welcome. Those that are hanging out with us from Twitter and from Facebook, welcome, welcome, welcome. So I love that the subtitle or just a little cliche along with the title is it's screaming to come out. This giant that is screaming like, let me out.
Yes, very much so. It's in you. It's in us. It's in those that can know it, but there's so many people who will suppress it. Let me tell you, there are things that will suppress this giant. And number one, I won't even categorize it as one. One thing that can do it is past failures.
Yeah.
That's a thing that can suppress a giant. You're 13, you're 14, you're 15, you feel like the world is at your fingertips and, boom, all of a sudden you have maybe a failing grade, or maybe you have parents that have divorced, or maybe you have loved ones who have left you, that girl-boy relationship, and somebody breaks your living heart and anything. But those are some of the things can suppress the giant. You're like, why live? I don't have anything to live for. What is this life all about? And it can start at an early age that you start suppressing the giant. And no matter what God says to you or what you hear over the pulpit or you hear from the classroom, from your teachers, it just gets stifled. But we are here.
We are here. Yes, and so they will need to get a hold of a copy of Unlocking the Giant Within. And I mentioned the national release is going to be January 2015, right?
Yes, absolutely. That's the national. It goes Amazon. It goes everywhere that you will be able to purchase. You will be able to have it. But this is like a pre-release. I wanted to let the Richmond audience know that I love them. I wanted to let the church audience know I love them. That's why it's coming up on Saturday, because so many times we do great things all over the world and home people are left out. So I wanted to, give this opportunity as a pre-release to release this.
Wonderful. And so, so if you are in the Richmond surrounding areas, you can attend the pre-book release on this coming Saturday, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., the pre-book release. You will get the autographed copy of the book in your hand. So, Chief Apostle, by the end of the day, your fingers are going to be tired from signing all those books. But that's okay.
I know. They told me I cannot have a stamp. I've got to do it legitimately. I have to handwrite it. So but it's a good thing. I just love for people to have this information, and also those who have already gone online or gone to the website or Facebook or whatever. And there are some people such as Sharvette Mitchell. She
Yes.
has already purchased her pre-release copy, and we're excited.
Yes, and listeners, you can go to ocbrownministries.com, ocbrownministries.com. If you're hanging out on Sharvette.com, I've got the website address right there, ocbrownministries.com. See all the information you want to see, and also you can purchase. You can purchase a pre-order of the book, and you also can get a copy, a ticket for this coming Saturday. You can contact me directly as well, and we can make sure that you get a ticket. Again, you'll be able to get the book in hand. Walk out autographed by the author right there with you. Well, then the celebration is going to continue because we got to tell them about Sunday. You've combined this pre-book release with your 37th pastoral anniversary as well.
Yes. Sunday at 5 p.m. we will be at 701 Johnston Willis Drive at our local headquarters church, and that event we will have the world-renowned, that's who I call her, Dr. Medina Pullings, who is a prophetic preacher, prophetic woman of God who will just unlock your future for you. If you're sitting in her audience, yes, you will know that God has greater and God has more. So that's at 5 p.m. on this coming Sunday, which is the 7th of December, right at 701 Johnston Willis Drive, North Chesterfield, Virginia, 23236.
All right, there you have it, listeners, and they are certainly familiar with Dr. Medina Pulling. I interviewed her a couple years ago, and that was my highest listened to show. She beat out Thelma from Good Times. She beat out other people. That has been my all-time highest listened to show. So you all know Dr. Medina Pulling. All right, so Chief Apostle, I want to get back to, I want to give our listeners some nuggets that's going to make them say, I got to get a hold of this book. So Unlocking the Giant Within. Let's talk to business women and businessmen, those that are entrepreneurs or trying to go that direction. We have a lot of those listening to the show. Any nuggets you would pull out of Unlocking the Giant Within that would help an entrepreneur or someone that wants to be an entrepreneur?
Yes, first of all, in writing a book, and also as an entrepreneur, we have to find things that are our passion. We cannot be we can be, but I don't believe success follows long term if we're not passionate about whatever we do. Just as writing a book, it doesn't matter if it's a fiction, if it's a self-help book, if it's a cookbook or whatever, you have to have passion. You just can't do something because Joe Blow or Susie Q decided to write a book on a cookbook. Awesome, wonderful. But unless it's your passion, it will not live long term. And that's what I want to say to entrepreneurs. Those of you who have decided that business is the way, and I do believe we should have multiple streams of income. I just don't believe the 9-to-5 route will take you where you need to go unless you are the owner. And then it won't be 9-to-5, it'll be whatever. But I feel that if you are going that entrepreneur route, there's one thing that you must have, and that's patience. And I call that in the skill set of the giant. You must have patience. Nothing is done overnight. Overnight success, I heard an author say just today, comes like 5 years from now. That's overnight success.
Right.
It's not overnight as we suppose. You're not blinking and wow, you've got $1 million empire, 500 employees. No, it takes patience. The next set I would call, if you are starting whatever, you need peace. You need to ask God to give you the peace that passes all understanding, because the peace of God will push you when everything is in chaos, when it's in chaotic situations. And those things will come. You cannot have a business, a church. You can't have a home. You cannot have a marriage. You cannot be single without having something that will disturb you. And that's when we have to hold on to the peace of God. And the third situation that I always think about, you must have perseverance. You've got to press through it. Forgetting those things which are behind, we press toward those things which are before. Perseverance. You can't throw up your hands. That's why I say you have to have patience. You have to have a passion. You have to have patience, but you have to have a passion. When it's your passion, it's not as easy to throw up your hands and say, oh, forget it. Yes, it might feel it one day, but your passion will keep driving you back. It'll keep driving you back to where you need to be. A person that person that I really love is Serena Williams, the tennis player. That is awesome. She's so awesome. But, you can't be a tennis player one day because, your little friend wanted to be a tennis player. You've got to have a passion, and that girl has a drive in her that just blows my mind. She has that perseverance. She has that patience. And she runs with everything that she has within her. She has patience, peace, perseverance. And those things will keep you when you feel like, wake up the next morning and say, I can do it all over again. I hope I answered the question.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Unlocking the Giant Within, listeners, Dr. Olive C. Brown. Listen, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then when we come back, I want to hear what Unlocking the Giant says to those in relationships. And I also want to hear, what Unlocking the Giant says to those in ministries. So we've got the entrepreneurs. We got you all covered. We're going to talk about relationships, and then we're going to finish up with those in ministry. So does that sound good to you, Chief Apostle?
It sounds awesome.
All right. Yes. Awesome. Okay, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Listeners, don't you go anywhere. Matter of fact, get on Twitter, get on Facebook, tell them what you're listening to. Give them the link or the number. Tell them to join us right here. We'll be right back.
It's the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Sharvette will be back after this.
Hey, everybody, I'm Miss Anita Wilson. Christmas is finally upon us, but listen, don't you go stressing out about how many gifts are under the tree. Jesus is the reason for this season. So enjoy your family, enjoy your friends, and let's celebrate the birth of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Virtual book tours is one of the best ways to get your book noticed by potentially thousands of new readers. Fab Virtual Tours staff will walk you through the process of embarking on a virtual tour for your book, business, music, and or ministry, providing simple but yet effective strategies for getting your product and your message in front of thousands. Sign up for a free consultation. www.latboyd.com.
Are you starting a new business, releasing a CD, writing a new book? Consider Mitchell Productions for your web design services. Visit www.mitchell-productions.com for portfolio samples, specials, and package prices. Remember, a website is not a luxury item. It's a necessity. Check out mitchell-productions.com or find them at facebook.com/Mitchell Productions.
You can't control everything, but there are some really important things you can control, like keeping your family healthy and safe. Planning for a Healthy Life, a booklet from the American Diabetes Association, has information on everything from nutrition to retirement. To get your free copy, call 1-800-DIABETES or go to diabetes.org/lifeplanner. Order yours today and take control of your life from the American Diabetes Association, because we want everyone to be healthy and happy.
She's here to motivate, excite, and influence you. She's Sharvette Mitchell. Sharvette Mitchell. It's the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show with in-depth interviews from today's leading authors, gospel artists, stars that you want to know about. And now, Sharvette Mitchell.
All right, welcome back. welcome back again to all those that are listening with us, that are hanging out on the phone lines, those that are coming in from Twitter and Facebook, from Sharvette.com, from our mobile app. Hey, we say hello. Listen, we're chatting up here about Unlocking the Giant Within by Dr. Olive C. Brown, and this book encourages readers to release the supernatural potential that resides within. We all have a giant locked up inside, but most times giants are not released until circumstances force them to come to the forefront. All right, so we are back here. Okay, so let's talk about unlocking the giant within. How would that help relationships? Those in relationships, want to be in relationships, all that kind of stuff. How would this book help them?
I think this book helps. I speak in this book regarding one thing, several, but it says, I do a quote, it says, it's mine. It says, whatever you don't deal with eventually will deal with you without warning. Whatever you've been avoiding, got to handle it. And for relationships, I do believe the giant is within, but you've got to realize there's sometimes you've got to talk about situations. You've got to release those situations, not in a negative way, not in a time of high tempers or anger or frustration, but you must take the time to deal with situations. Because if you don't deal with them in a marriage, in a relationship, it will eventually handle you or deal with you. So I believe that that is one thing. The second thing I believe with relationships, not only are giants competent, but their confidence is contagious. If you're in a relationship, yes. If you're in a relationship, if you are confident about, let's say, you want to build a house, or you want to buy a car, or you want to do something, go back to school, I believe if you project it in the right way with your relationship, with your partner, with your husband, your wife, or whoever it might be, I believe confidence is contagious. So many times we see people who marry. I can speak for my marriage. My husband, we were married 27 years. But because iron sharpens iron, this is what I believe. Iron sharpens iron. Make sure, number one, that you pray and you get with the right person. That we cannot say that enough. I don't even have time. That's a whole relationship topic.
Yes, we'll have to have you back. That's a whole segment.
You
by
have
itself.
to have me back. But I do believe iron sharpens iron, and confidence is contagious. With my husband was a go-getter. He was a man of the Bible. He studied of theology. He studied. I went to college. I got my bachelor's, but when I connected with him, that was during this stage, I found so much confidence, and the confidence began to rub off on me. So much so until, this is a caveat, well, this is what I want to say. I was kind of quiet and withdrawn in some areas, but man, when I got with this man of God, and he started having all this confidence started exuding out of me. Confidence started running out of me, and then all of a sudden he's like, who is this woman I married? I married a little shy, quiet girl. And all of a sudden you want to take over the world. I don't even know who this person is. But confidence is contagious. And if you have, just look at it's a negative situation, but look at those who are gang members. They get on the leader gets on the street and they surround themselves with little shy guys or girls or whatever, and all of a sudden they're holding up stores and killing whatever. Right. Because it's confidence. It can be in a negative perspective, or it can be in a positive, but we want it to be in the positive. So in relationships, get with people who are confident, and don't be mad about it. Be glad about it.
Be glad about it and help to unlock each other's giants, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Wonderful. All right, so let's talk about those in ministry, and certainly, as I said before, a trailblazer for women in ministry. Women in ministry may not have it as smooth. Let's just say no one has it smooth in ministry, easy breezy, but women tend to have a little bit more that we have to deal with. So as a trailblazer to women, what do you say? And this can fit anyone. Male listeners, we are not leaving you out at all. So anyone in ministry, what would you say, any nuggets out of unlocking the giant within that will help them?
Yes, I do think fear is a diabolical force that really can help to stifle the giant within. But I feel in ministry, women, men, or whoever, you have to put your foot on the neck of fear and break its windpipe. This is in the book. You have to put your foot on the neck of fear and break its windpipe so it cannot breathe. You know, there are so many people who are like, in ministry, like, I don't know, this, Bishop Jakes, whoever, can do this, but I can't do it. You may not be able, because you're not Bishop Jakes, so you're not going to be able to do what Bishop Jakes does in his sense. But there is something that's on the inside of you that God, all of us are destined for something. God has put something inside of us to make the world go around. I do believe that. There's something inside of you that nobody else can do like you can do, but if you are wrapped in fear, you can't do it. You've got to say, Lord, this giant has to come out, and I'm breaking the windpipe of fear so that I can do what God has me to do.
Oh, my goodness, that is awesome. And if you tweet that, give Chief Apostle the credit for that quote there. We have tweeted her and it's connected on Facebook, so make sure if you quote that, you give that quote to Chief Apostle. That's so true because fear is crippling. It is
crippling, and it's not of God. God has not given us the spirit of fear. That's what Timothy says. Paul says to Timothy, God has not given. So if God has not given it, it's only two major forces, and that's God and the enemy. So it's the enemy. So we have to break the neck of fear. And I said the windpipe. When you break the windpipe, it can't breathe. It will die. So we want fear to die.
We want fear to die. All right, so there you have it. Those in ministry, you've got your nuggets. Those with relationships, wanting stronger relationships, you got your nuggets. And certainly we talked about entrepreneurs. So you have all that you need that would provoke you to get a hold of unlocking the giant within, Again, you can go to Chief Apostle Dr. Olive C. Brown's main website, which is OCBrownMinistries.com.
Worldwide.
Ministries.com. So anywhere you're listening, we have listeners in London and all over. So anywhere you can get a hold right there. So Chief Apostle, any final comments that you would have for those that are listening?
Yes. I do have one thing I'd like. Surround yourself with those who have been through similar situations. It will yield great results. Those who have come through positively. Surround yourself, because sometimes we think we are the only one who have encountered, if it's entrepreneurship, maybe the business didn't do what you wanted it to do. Surround yourself with people, with books, and now the Internet is filled with so many people who you can tap into who have done what you want to do, even if it's writing a book. Surround yourself with people like me that will help you, that will unleash what you have. But the key is surrounding yourself with people, and then surround yourself with prayer. And believe God and trust God. Greater is He that's within you than he that's in the world.
Amen, amen, and it's so true what you just said with the internet and just the resources that are available. And it used to be that we were they said 6 degrees separation from anyone in the world, but how the internet has cut that to really 2 degrees. You were probably only 2 degrees separation from anyone. And I was listening to a business, a Google Hangout, and they were talking about it was for entrepreneurs, and they were saying find somebody that's maybe 5 steps ahead of you or 10 steps ahead of you and see what they're doing versus someone that's 100 steps ahead of you, and then you get discouraged because you're like, they're so far ahead of me. But find somebody maybe 5 or 10 steps ahead of you and see what they're doing and get on board. So
yeah, that's so good. One thing you can do, and I do this a lot because I am an author, but I haven't been in the big league. But what I've done, I've gone to YouTube University. That's what I call it. Pastor PM calls it YouTube University, and you can just say in the search, authors and those that have, just started or those that have been 5 years. And you'll find and they'll talk about the things they've gone through. So you're not alone, as you said. Today, it has leveled the playing field. Internet really has. It really has.
It really has. All right, so my last question for you before we wrap up this segment. Listeners, again, we see you coming in on the phone lines. We're excited. Our next guest, she's hanging out in the virtual green room. Noelle, we'll be bringing her on shortly. So the goal of my show is to motivate, excite, and influence. And we want to know what continues to influence and motivate you.
It's the passion. It's the passion, and I can't say it enough. It's inside of you, but you have to tap into it. Once I tapped into, I've been a speaker, I've been a preacher, and all of that. And, of course, as a speaker, as a preacher, you write your notes down. But then I started taking the notes that I have written for the audience, for the congregation, and I started expanding on them, and they started empowering me. And then others started saying, like my Facebook friends, oh, you need to write a book. Oh, you need to write a book. Oh, you need to write a book. I mean, so many of my friends and some of my other friends, like they know me really good, they were like, you need to do cards. You need to do greeting cards. And because you have all these wonderful sayings, so people have helped me. But also it's my passion that I love, and now I am launching. On this book, I now have a study guide that's going along with this book called Unlocking the Giant Within. It's a study guide. And today I just got with someone, and we're doing a children's book of Unlocking the Giant Within. I'm doing it from ages 3 to 7. And then I'm doing another one from 10 to 17. Get that adolescent and all of that. I mean, it's just popping. But things just happen. Once you get involved, it's like making a good pie. You get all the good ingredients. Yes. And you're like, wow, this is really good. So
wonderful.
And
with
let the cat out.
You let the cat. Look, late breaking news right here. You heard it first on the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. You heard it first right here. But that's so awesome because of bullying. You know, if they know I've got a giant within me, I can deal better with a bully at school.
Come on, we're going to be collaborators.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
That is
awesome,
true.
Awesome.
That's how it. I started looking, and some of the kids we deal with. Yes, it is right there in front of your face, but they let other people suppress the giant within them. You got the not bullying, but you have something in you, and people will drive it out. Like I said earlier, at early age, it can be driven. It can be put on the back burner. But I am touching it now. Children's book coming out.
Right.
Amen.
Coming out.
Illustrations, cartoons. Amen.
Oh, wow. Yes, stay tuned. Listeners, again, you can follow Chief Apostle on Twitter. If you are a Twitter person, she's at Chief Apostle OCB, very simple, at Chief Apostle OCB. And I have tweeted her, and certainly on Facebook. You want to go to OC Brown Ministries on Facebook and find that page there and connect. And there you have it. And certainly her main website, ocbrownministries.com. There you have it. All right. Well, thank you so much for stopping by, and I will see you at the pre-book release.
Thank you. I will look to see, and all of our friends, come and hang out with me. We're just going to chill, have a good time. Good music, good entertainment, good food, just hanging out.
Just hanging out. All right, wonderful, wonderful. All right, listeners, we're going to our second segment right after this quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
It's the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Sharvette will be back after this.
Hello, we are 123jobzone.com, an online job search portal. We are user-friendly, and if you're searching for a job, with us, it's easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1, go to www.123jobzone.com and register as a job seeker. Step 2, once registered, upload your resumes. Step 3, get connected with employers looking for people like you who are ready and willing to work. Don't forget to follow 123 Job Zone on Twitter and Facebook to find out more about our upcoming job fairs. What are you waiting for? Stop by 123jobzone.com today. Good luck with your job search.
Does your church or ministry have a website? Are you a local artist or author that has an established web presence? If you answered no to any of these questions, you're letting countless opportunities pass you by. Hi, I'm Sharvette Mitchell. Mitchell Productions was created with your needs in mind. We will provide you with stylish and economical online marketing solutions. From email marketing to your own website, Mitchell Productions caters to ministries, nonprofits, small businesses, and special events. Check out our portfolio at mitchell-productions.com. In today's world, a website is not a luxury, it's a necessity. And Mitchell Productions can create your website in a stylish manner at a very economical price. Don't let business, customers, or new congregation members pass you by. Visit Mitchell Productions today at www.mitchell-productions.com. Let us showcase your organization to the world.
You can't control everything, but there are some really important things you can control, like keeping your family healthy and safe. Planning for a Healthy Life, a booklet from the American Diabetes Association, has information on everything from nutrition to retirement. To get your free copy, call 1-800-DIABETES or go to diabetes.org/lifeplanner. Order yours today and take control of your life from the American Diabetes Association, because we want everyone to be healthy and happy.
She's here to motivate, excite, and influence you. She's Sharvette Mitchell. Sharvette Mitchell. It's the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show with in-depth interviews from today's leading authors, gospel artists, stars that you want to know about. And now, Sharvette Mitchell.
All right, welcome back again to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Super excited to have you joining us here on the World Wide Web. Listen, we're moving into our second featured segment with Noelle Sewell. She's hanging out in the virtual green rooms. I know she has enjoyed some virtual snacks. She's the founder of IndieSpotlight.net. IndieSpotlight.net, which is a global showcase of independent Christian artists. She's a strong supporter of mine on social media. She's always clicking like and clicking share and all that, and I appreciate that. And I'm excited to have the opportunity to interview her on my show. So I'm bringing her up to the mic right now. Yes, Noelle, welcome to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show.
Thank you for having me, and welcome to all the guests, and thank you for having me once again. I appreciate the opportunity.
Oh, you are quite welcome. So let's jump right on in. Tell our listeners about Indie Spotlight. What is that all about?
Well, I'll just give you a little background what led me up to creating it. I have worked with the community for a very long time as far as around HIV. As a matter of fact, I've worked with the HIV community for 34 years. And in that time, a lot of things I had to do working for different organizations when they didn't have a development officer or they didn't have a marketing person or whatever. Some of the case managers and the social workers had to be the ones marketing and promoting. But along with that, I had a lot of clients on my caseload, those who ended up coming to Christ and have a relationship with Christ, they would come to me and ask me, I'd like to listen to some Christian music, but maybe I don't want to listen to commercial Christian radio. Can you recommend some artists for me to listen to? Can you recommend some movies so I can watch and I can watch with my children? And, clean comedy. Now clean comedy is getting to be big. They would ask me, well, where can I take my children or my friend where I can go and hear someone who's funny without cursing? And so that was put in my spirit, and I would give out information, and people would send me stuff, and I would try to support one project or the other. And the Lord just gave me a plan that I should just create a website where people who are independent artists, animators, filmmakers, comedians, and now we also have a page for virtual artists. That means if you're a sculptor or a painter, anything you do that through craft that glorifies the kingdom, you can be on the site because now we have a page for visual artists. So the Lord gave me that plan, and for a long time I didn't put it into action, I think because of fear, because I'm not a techno-savvy person. I went kicking and screaming dealing with the computer because I had to because of the jobs I had. Let's just keep it real. And so, I think also God has a sense of humor because he knows if he gives me a certain thing that I'm going to go kicking and screaming. But he also knows that because I don't know a lot of things, I'm going to try to do my best to learn and to surround me with people who know what to do. And so finally, in 2013, I was talking to some people about, my idea, and everybody said, yeah, it's great, they're doing that. And I said, yeah, but money is holding me back. And so somebody recommended someone who would do the website for me, and I did it based on a payment plan. And, and then in December 2013, the website was launched. So we are celebrating our 1-year anniversary this month. And how we're celebrating is, one, we're commemorating World AIDS Day, and we're doing that till December 8th. And then the rest of the month, we're going to focus on youth because Christ was born in this month. We celebrate the birth of Christ. He was a hope for a future. He was born as a babe as for a new beginning. And our youth, I call them the Samuel generation. They're looking at our mistakes and trying to make the corrections and get us ready for when Jesus Christ comes back. And so that's why I decided to do that, focus it like that for the month of December. And I can tell you, once again, no one pays to be on the website. Now, this is something that the Lord and I had. I didn't have a fight with him because, when you try to fight with Jesus, you ain't going to win. But,
right.
But he says, oh, no, you're going to pay out of your pocket to promote people. I said, what? Oh, dear. But I'm following through with what he said. I even took on a little second job to help make sure that I could do that. And I surrounded myself with people who are willing to work with me financially, who know I'm going to pay them. We come with a payment plan. You give me your discounts, whatever you need to do. And also it's a learning process because I have invested in some things that just haven't panned out, but it's a learning process. So I'm learning what works and what doesn't work. But I would tell you, because I've stuck to that plan without charging people, the Lord has really blessed me. I have had the opportunity to travel, and I've traveled a lot, but travel where I don't have to pay. I went on a couple mission trips and really virtually paid nothing. I'm very grateful. And then other opportunities, I've been asked to speak certain places, and so I'm very thankful. Or people are asking me to serve on advisory boards and that kind of thing. So I'm blessed. Now, the website is not where I'd like it to be because eventually I would like to get advertisers, but I want like the Christian colleges and all those colleges and universities or organizations that deal with music, theater, because there are a couple of Christian colleges that even have animation programs. and I've been trying to get in contact with people there, haven't gotten a response, but you don't get deterred because that door didn't open yet, it may not be time. And the Lord keeps telling me, you just keep doing what you're doing. Try again, because I've had to do that with some of the people on the website because I want the website to be, first of all, diverse. Because the Christian community, Sunday morning is the most segregated hour of the week.
My
goodness. This church is black and this church is this and this church, and I got it. Everybody wants to go where they feel comfortable, but sometimes you got to come out of your comfort zone. And then you can learn about how people experience Christianity from their perspective. I can just give you a brief example. I went to a church where they were mostly people from India. And, in India they have the caste system. Well, here we don't have a caste system. So you might be connected to somebody in a lower caste. You got to learn how to deal with that and show them the love of Christ because that's your prejudice. Our prejudice may be race, but theirs may be class. Now, theirs, and in their society, the people in the lower class are deemed like people of our color used to be deemed. You understand what I'm saying? That we were just nothing. But when you come here, you're in house of God, you got to learn that I don't care what caste you're from, all of us are children of God, and he treats no one no different. There's no favorites. We're all his favorite.
That's right.
There's nobody at the bottom, and even if you have a title, and this is the other thing that I think we need to understand. And I'm respectful of people's titles, don't get me wrong. But I think also, too, people who don't have titles feel that they can't really do anything for the body of Christ. But that's another reason why I created this website, because I'm meeting people who have businesses, but maybe they don't have a title as far as the church goes.
Right.
But people are listening to them. They're having influence. They may not believe it, because I tell you the truth, I didn't believe it. Because people always ask me, aren't you a pastor? No, I'm not. But I'm pastoring my caseload. I'm a medical case manager, and my clients are my children. I'm mentoring them. I'm discipling them. That's my congregation. They may not meet every Sunday, but I meet them individually. You understand what I'm saying? And so I think we get a little crazy about that. But we also in the Christian community get crazy about coming out for certain social issues. And this is one reason why I think HIV has devastated our community in so many ways. One, because in this country, because when HIV really hit big, we only saw gay white men. And we thought our people didn't have it. Our people weren't getting it. Meanwhile, we didn't know because they were advocating for their community. We weren't advocating for ours. We don't even know how many black people have died from HIV because there were black people who were dying back then, but nobody diagnosed them. But also, too, at the same time in the 1980s, there was already an epidemic in sub-Saharan Africa, South Africa, Swaziland, Namibia, Mozambique, Zambia, Zimbabwe. There was already an epidemic because it followed the truck routes and, and prostitution. So sex is sex. We all have to deal with that. And let me just say I'm going to say this right now because I know somebody's going to ask me that question. How can you justify working with people with HIV and not believe in people living the gay lifestyle or people believing that they're born gay or whatever? So let me say this. You can love people, but you don't have to like how they live.
That's true.
God says, love your neighbor. He didn't say you got to like it, that your neighbor done had 50 babies by 50 women, but you still got to love them.
That's right.
And so, but the other thing is that we don't understand that we can really make an impact by getting to know that person. And if you want to change someone, you get to know them on an intimate level, find out what their needs are, start addressing some of their needs, and they'll see that you really have an interest in them. You're just not trying to preach to them, throw your faith on them, because people will listen to you.
That's right.
I love all my clients, but they know there's certain things they do or how they live that I don't agree with, but I still love them, and I will work for each and every one of them the same way, because I cannot be unfair, because Christ is not unfair.
Wow. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So indiespotlight.net, I love it. I love the mission and the campaign that you are on and how you all take different focus areas. And listeners, if you're wondering, how to get to the website, Indy, and that's INDY, spotlight.net. Very simple. So it's kind of abbreviation for independent. So Indy, INDY, spotlight.net. And when you go there, you will see, and I love how it's broken down where you have the music section, the comedy, the film, the animation, and you can click on any of those. And what's really neat is if there's a comedian or there's an artist, you'll see a write-up about them, and you can see a video of them. So that's outstanding that you've given them this platform, because I would presume that some may not have websites of their own, so they can send people here.
Right. And the other thing is, since we're choosing different topics, each person on the website eventually is going to get some ad time.
Oh, wow.
Each person, we that was one of the things the Lord spoke to me. You come up with different topics, like we did Women's Month. We're trying to figure out something to do when we could just focus on the men. We're going to do something dealing with just the Caribbean. We're going to do something dealing with just Africa. We want to do something that's just dealing with the Middle East. We only have one artist right now from the Middle East, but we're hoping to get some more. At least there's one gentleman from Egypt that we want to get on there. And there's a teen group from Iran that are now living in Germany. I've been reaching out to the Syrian Christians, the Catholic, Syrian Catholics, the Turkish Catholics, the Ethiopians, because they're Orthodox. Some of them are Catholic, but they have a praise and worship style too. And we all need to see that there's different types of worship. I want this website to be representative of people all over the world. We want people who are Aborigine. We want people who are black who sing country, because that's what we want. We want to see people, and I just found out there's Christian electronic dance music, because in some places if they want to do a Christian night in a church or something, kids just don't want to come stand around. They do want to dance. Now, we know that there are some boundaries that have to go along with that, but if the music is still giving the message, then we ought to acknowledge that. We also ought to acknowledge the Christian DJs. And eventually I'm hoping to get some Christian DJs so I can create a separate page for them, because I think they're very underrated. Just like I found out people who do sculpting and painting who are believers and try to portray the love of Christ through that medium are underrated and don't get the attention that's deserved.
Very
so we want to
true.
Make it, So and the thing is with us, not that we're discriminating against artists who have signed with major labels, but artists who sign with major labels have a machine behind them that helps get the word out about them, whereas independent artists don't. And we do have a rule. If that person's goal to get on the website and somebody from a major record company sees them and snatches them, or they sign and they want to, then they can't be on the site anymore, because this is truly for independent artists. And some people choose to stay independent.
That's true, and there's some major artists who reverted and went independent.
Yes.
After they had the opportunity to be major labels.
Yeah, one of them is Wes Morgan. He's on our website.
I'm looking at it, and I see it. And actually, right beside Wes Morgan is Linda Clark, and she is from Richmond. So big shout out to Linda Clark from Richmond, Virginia, our Mount Gilead family. She's right on the website. If there are independent artists that are listening and they say, hey, I want to be a part of indiespotlight.net, how do they get connected?
Well, they need to go to the website and go to the contact page. and then they can fill that online form out. Tell us briefly about, what you do or if you have videos. Now, I do have to say this. We're a Christian site. Some things ain't going to be allowed. There has to be a standard. And we're also trying to help artists, I understand that you may not have a lot of money, but there are cameras now, even some of the phone cameras can take halfway decent pictures. I've had to talk to people about getting some decent pictures made. And
now you down my alley, because that is a pet peeve I have. OMG, please, y'all go get some pictures done. It does not cost you that much. That is like the number one thing you need to have done. Okay, I'm off my rant now. But that is, that's a pet peeve of mine.
And the only reason why I have to say that is because I have arguments with my webmaster about putting people on the site who don't have good pictures.
Right, because it tarnishes the rest of the site.
Yeah. And he'll say to me, well, this does not look good. And then I have to go back to him, do you have any pictures? Well, this picture, well, okay, maybe you think it is. And then the webmaster will tell me, well, why are they submitting a picture that has streaks in it?
Right.
Don't they see the streaks? Don't they see the watermarks? Don't they see... And so,
listen, I understand because I'm a web designer, so I completely understand their point of view.
So I'm learning that we have to also help them get to that certain point.
So you're really doing training and coaching, to really help those that are coming onto the site.
Right.
Really.
Those, but we do. They do have to have a video or online music. There are some people who contact me who want us to help them get a video done. We don't have that kind of finance.
Right.
One day that would be something I would love to do. I would love to give out scholarships for people who are really just starting. But right at this point, we can't do that. And then the other thing is because we don't charge people, I can't maintain the website and do the ad promotions and help you get your video. Can't do both. And what we're asking people, we do ask people to refer people to us now. Some people do it, some people don't. But we're trying to build up, so we ask the artist, look, if we spotlight you or you're on the site, we need you to tell your friends to go like the page and to go to the website so then we can start getting advertisers and they can see. We also need them to sign up for the mailing list. And you can sign up on the mailing list as soon as you go on the homepage. So those are the things that we need, and we're not, like I say once again, we're not asking for money. People have told me I should charge because sometimes people are a little ungrateful. I've experienced that. I've experienced some people who, if I'm not just focusing on them, then they don't want to be on a site, and that's fine. But this is just not about them. This is about the whole independent gospel community. I should say Christian creative community, because we just don't want to focus on music artists. We're focusing on the comedians and the filmmakers and, the animators and then the people who do either photography or sculpting. And I'm even trying to get somebody on that designs cakes, because even though it's her business, she is a believer and she goes by Christian principles in dealing with business, but also she prays over each cake before she sends it out. So to me, that's a ministry. That's a ministry. If you
absolutely,
that's a ministry. You're showing love to somebody. Now, maybe it may not be like listening and going to a play, but if you're crocheting, or if you're even making something for a special event and you have poured your heart and soul into it, and you've prayed over it, and you've wished that event well, you are blessing that person. You are ministering to them. You may not be ministering face to face, but your cake or your mittens or your afghan that you've crocheted or whatever you've made, you give it to them. It's still representing Christ, because
that's
you did
right.
it with love and you did it with the love of Christ.
And that's
So
creative
that's
and that's artistry. So that is awesome. So I'll be glad to share with our listeners this opportunity really for the independent artists and the independent comedians and all of that to go to indiespotlight.net and get signed up. And again, you need to have a good picture. It looks like you need to definitely have a bio or something written up about yourself, and you need to have a YouTube video.
The bios. People don't understand why they need a bio, but and the webmaster's pretty good. He makes $1 out of 15 cents and make it look halfway decent. But some people we can't. There's nothing.
Well, they need to have a bio because when they go to sing, that's your introduction. You need to take an introduction with you so that people can introduce you. You know what? That's a whole. That's a whole other segment. Artists, these are baseline things, and so if people don't know the baseline things, there is help for you out there. Get a coach, get a mentor, get someone to help you lay out what is needed. So, and support indiespotlight.net. Oh my goodness, we are out of time. Tell listeners how they can connect with you: Facebook, Twitter, main website, all that good stuff.
Okay, the main website is www.indiespotlight.net. You can connect with me two ways on Facebook. You can contact me by typing in Noelle Sewell, Noelle, last name Sewell, Sewell, or you can go in and type in Indie Spotlight, all one word, and then the page will come up. On Twitter, you can contact us. We're Indie Spotlight, capital NT, all one word. Indie Spotlight, N, capital NT, and if you type that in on Twitter, our page will come up.
Oh, right. All the great connection points there. And the last question I have for you, the goal of my show is to motivate, excite, and influence. And what continues to motivate you?
I think it's two things: passion and commitment. Passion for giving people a platform and exposing people to different art forms of believers, music, art, whatever. Commitment because I have to be committed to this website and this community like I was committed and still am to the HIV community. I'm committed to helping people move forward. I'm committed to seeing them try to reach their full potential. And it's the same way with the HIV community, the same way with my clients, my caseload. Although we may have a love-hate relationship, we may have a fight like a marriage, one way or the other. but the goal is for people to move forward, even if it's a half a step forward, to move forward. And that's the commitment that I have to the people who are on the website, but also to the people who go to the site, because I want them to be enriched by having different experiences and seeing different things on the website.
Wonderful, and certainly to tag on to that, if you have an event or a session, a seminar, a symposium, a conference, consider stopping by indiespotlight.net to secure people that can help you with your entertainment and all of that. Make that a spot there that you can stop and see who's in your area and have them come to your event.
And even you can give us suggestions on some topics. We've got some topics lined up that we're going to try to address because some of our artists are working. We have a comedian that is raising a lot of money for Ebola. We need to deal with that. We have someone who's dealing with discrimination against albinos, the Christian community.
Oh, wow.
Anything that's related to social issues, we ought to be on the forefront because that's what Christ did. He was an advocate.
Yeah.
And we need to be an advocate.
We need to be an advocate. Well, that's awesome. Noelle Sewell, thank you so much for stopping by the show, and we certainly wish you and indiespotlight.net much more continued success.
Thank you, and just thank you once again for the opportunity, and may the Lord bless and keep you and enrich you and even give you more to do more and bless you more.
Amen. And I receive it. Thank you so much. Woo, listeners. I tell you what, that's going to wrap it up for today. Thank you all for stopping by. We'll see you next week, same time, same place.
Live from Richmond, Virginia, you have been listening to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Connect with her at Sharvette.com. And until next week, stay motivated, excited, and influenced. The Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Signing off.